Howdy gaming people, Damon Master here, and I'm back with another episode of Unboxing My Collection. It's been a little while since my last one. I won't lie, I found the allure of Twitch streaming after recently upgrading my internet here, and found it to be a much easier platform to create content on. YouTube takes a little bit of work to get it right. But I'm back, and this is a pretty important episode. I have with me my box copy of Heroes Quest, So You Want to Be a Hero. And the reason I'm doing this particular game, of course, is it's the 30th anniversary. And there's a number of celebrations taking place in response to that date, including a new Kickstarter from the Coles for their upcoming Hero U expansion. And so yeah, I thought, hey, now's a good time to delve into Heroes Quest and talk a little bit about the game and what it meant to me. So this box copy I have here is not what I originally played. When the game first came out in 1989, I would have been about 12 or 13 years old, and it probably wasn't long after that I found, I went to a friend's place, and I'd already played King's Quest and was quite partial. Space Quest, Leisure Suit Larry, cool. And this was the first time I had seen Heroes Quest, and it was shown to me, and the idea of having a quest adventure with a fantasy element just resonated with me on a whole new level. And so I acquired a dodgy copy. Apologies to the Coles, I was a kid, I had no income. And it was on 10 floppy disks. Now, I didn't have a hard drive on my computer at the time. I was still running a PCXT with a CGA and two 5¼ inch floppies, so that was it. So I quickly learned that disk 7 pretty much always stayed in the second drive because it was the most used as you move through the woodlands, and then you would just swap the disk on the top drive. So I spent a lot of hours with Heroes Quest trying the different characters and maxing out my skills and just really enjoying the fantasy element of a quest adventure game that we really hadn't seen before. Like King's Quest kind of dived there, but to add the RPG elements and whatever have you really just hit the nail on the head for me. But let's crack open this box and see what's inside. You can see it's bulging. So I think I've got perhaps multiple disc versions. So this is requires 512K of RAM, which would have suited me. My PCXT only had 512K. 8 megahertz or faster recommended. I was running 4.77. IBM, Tandy, and MS-DOS compatibles. Supports Tandy graphics, CJ, EJ, MCGA, PS2, VGA, and Hercules monochrome. Hard disk recommended. Oh boy, is it! Trust me. Mouse, joystick optional. Supports Roland MT32, AdLib, Game Blaster, IBM Music cards, and music synthesizer. So again, originally I would have started with CJ and PC speaker. 3.5 inch and 5¼ inch discs enclosed. Requires 640K on a PC Junior. So let's take off this slip, which is a little beaten up and damaged, but that's okay. I find that adds character. I'm not such a big sort of fanatic that I have to have everything sealed. I like a bit of character, especially when it's mine and it's not something I just sort of picked up later. So honestly though, I don't recall exactly when I picked this up. It eludes me, but it was quite some time ago. So inside the box we've got a number of discs. Here we've got the 3.5 inch discs, 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. And that's great actually, because I've got a USB 3.5 inch drive, so I might install this again soon and perhaps do a Twitch stream. That'd be really cool. I haven't played through the original Hero Quest in quite some time. And then look at this smorgasbord. So there's the 5.25 inch discs, all 10 of them, and you can play the game off these discs, like as I said, and it's a painful experience, but it can be done. Then we have the Famous Adventurers Correspondence School. So yeah, written and directed by Lorianne Cole, and there's her husband in the programming and a whole bunch of really cool people. And yeah, so we get a little backstory. Talks about the Adventurers Guild, talks about the classes. Of course, there's no paladin in the first game, so it's just the thief, the fighter, and the mage. Talks about the spells. How do I become a thief? So this is kind of neat. And then other influences and important people. So rulers, wizards, peace officers, healers, guildmasters, innkeepers, and shopkeepers. And then it talks about some of the enemies. Goblins, kobolds, goons, giants, monsters, trolls, ogres, manta rays, and such. And then undead, and then the unknown, which is the Night Gaunts. And then we have what appears to be a technical and game manual. So this is sort of less background fluff and more how to install the game, some of the words that it might use, sort of how to create your character. So if you're new to, obviously, Quest games, and of course there was new elements like the combat in this that you probably, even if you'd come off King's Quest, you needed to sort of learn. Well, and then we got a bit of a mini walkthrough. And then, something that people tend to collect, I believe, looks like we've got a Sierra catalogue. Yeah, and a lot of people I know collect these. They are pretty cool. And a variety of other. Codename Iceman, which I recently picked up. Oh, when I say recently, probably 12 months ago. Which has also got a cameo in this version of Hero Quest. Or Quest for Glory as it was renamed. So yeah, obviously anybody's watching this probably knows that it started off as Heroes Quest, and then the name had to be changed due to a clash with the Milton Bradley board game of Hero Quest. So in order to avoid any kind of unnecessary litigation, that's why this bulges, because that is just not gonna fit in there. So yeah, that's what's inside my box copy of Heroes Quest. So you want to be a hero. So I'm not entirely sure where I would have picked this version up, whether it was online or in a retail store. But it was something I had to own. I had to put in the collection. Being such a huge fan from back in, I don't know if I picked it up in '89. It probably would have been around 1990. My very early days of high school, and I used to travel sort of on a weekend. I'd go from one friend's place with a box of blank discs and then sort of copy what they had and then go to your next mate's place and trade that for something else, and you sort of just keep going, and then you'd come home and then on the Sunday you'd just play all these new games. But I remember seeing Hero Quest and just immediately it really resonated with me. I don't want to say it shocked me, but it really excited me in a way that a lot of games at that stage hadn't. And I spent a lot of hours as a young man playing this game. And, you know, it wasn't until much later that I was able to play it, you know, with a reasonable computer. I had a 286 with, you know, VGA and all the rest of it. And then, of course, the VGA version of Quest for Glory came out somewhere around 94. And I have the box copy of that as well, of course. And I enjoyed it. I liked the claymation style of graphics and other things they used. It was very pretty. But my heart is always with this very original Heroes Quest, and of course this is the one where you can really, if you're a bit of a min-maxer, you can really overpower your hero and take the stats up higher than you can in other versions. You know, you can have a thief that you know, has all the spells and has crazy spell points and things like that. He just misses that, I think, the zap spell. He doesn't get zap, whatever have you. But it's a great game, and it was so richly detailed. There was so much that you could do and explore, and nuances and just not Easter eggs, but just little things. It was just so alive. And if you sort of come off the back of the very early King's Quest games, you just didn't quite get that same level of detail. And again, being a huge Dungeons and Dragons player, because I'd been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a few years by this stage, this really just tickled my fancy. And it's a great game. It's a great game. So, yeah, I think, you know, I might have to fire those, pop those 3.5-inch discs into my computer, fire this up through DOSBox, and do another playthrough really soon. But, yeah, that's Heroes Quest. So you want to be a hero. And I'll include a link in the description below for where you might be able to pick this up online legally, GOG and places like that. I'll also include a link to the 30th anniversary celebrations that are taking place at the moment, and the Kickstarter for the upcoming Hero U title from the Coles. So they're still going. Unfortunately, I don't believe they could get the rights back from Sierra for Hero Quest or Quest for Glory, which would have been really sweet. I would have loved to have seen them continue with you know, Quest for Glory 6, 7, whatever, or start a new saga. But it's good to see that they're continuing games in the same vein, and yeah, I'm really keen to take a look at this new one. So, but yeah, Heroes Quest. So you want to be a hero? Thank you for tuning in. Keep an eye on the channel for more unboxings when I finally get around to them. And of course, head on over to my Twitch channel if you're looking to see me play some of these games. I do a lot of DOS and old PC games. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.